Hey, today I'm going to go over one of my favorite habits to try to reinforce, and that is recovery and de stress. This is the missing piece for a lot of people. So, covered in this training, we're going to go over a few things. Number one, why recovery matters for results, the impact of stress on fat loss, what recovery actually means for us, simple ways to de stress daily, and how to make this a habit. So let's jump right into it. Why is this important? Well, this is sometimes a piece that a lot of people skip. And it's also one of the reasons that you might be feeling one of the following. You might be feeling kind of stuck, you're tired, inflamed, and maybe not seeing your results. And this is because your body does not change when you're actually doing the stress of the workout. It changes when you're in recovery and you have that off time. So the impact of stress on your body can be a major issue for us, especially for women. So I want to talk about that for a second. When your body is under constant stress, our cortisol levels stay elevated. And cortisol is a normal stress hormone in the body. It's something that we need, but constantly elevated states can wreak havoc on how you're doing. Your body is going to hold on to fat more easily. You're going to see drop in energy, and your recovery in general begins to slow down. So that means that basically you can be working out, eating better, and you still might not be getting the results that you want because your body is overwhelmed with that stress. This is where recovery comes in. What does recovery actually mean? Well, recovery is not just sitting on the couch and doing nothing. Although, yes, we can relax sometimes, we can have some downtime. Recovery is anything that's going to intentionally help you to relax, help you to reset, reduce your stress, and help support your nervous system. And, this is why we are trying to intentionally include that as one of our daily habits. So our goal during the challenge is for 30 minutes per day of recovery or low stress activity. And for a lot of people, 30 minutes is a long time. So if I told you to sit down and do meditation for 30 minutes, you might get 5 minutes in if you're not used to that and be feeling stir crazy. So, this is something that we can break up. You don't have to do all 30 minutes in a row. You can do a few minutes in the morning, some at lunch, some in the afternoon, or split it up however you want during the day to make it more attainable. And also, it doesn't have to be overly complicated. It doesn't have to be an elaborate plan. It can be things that you maybe would normally be doing in your life, but do it intentionally for this challenge. So here's a couple of options of what activities might count towards this portion of the challenge. Walking outside, this is a great one. We're already trying to get 30 minutes of activity and daily movement. When we walk outside, especially when there's no phones, talk about a nice reset, right? Also, stretching and mobility work. This is something that's great, to do before and after workouts, or first thing in the morning, or before you go to bed at night. And it doesn't have to be an overly complicated routine. Just a little bit of that stretching and mobility practice can go a long way. And this is one that I like to split up into multiple times during the day. Deep breathing is another option. So just being conscious of bringing down that stress level through breath work. And there's plenty of different breathing techniques that you can look into that really are great for regulating our stress levels and, helping with our nervous system to bring calm. Another one that you can do smaller chunks of throughout the day to add up. Journaling is another great option. It's really about letting yourself be expressed, letting you have an outlet for stress, to let out your feelings and emotions or thoughts, and something that you can work into your daily routine as well. Of course, when the weather is amazing, take advantage of it, because sitting outside in the sun is another great way to reduce stress, get that vitamin D into your skin. Some of my other favorite ones are sauna sessions. And so, if you have access to a sauna, that heat therapy is definitely one of those things that can make a huge difference in stress relief. Epsom salt baths or a hot shower is another simple one. It's really just about slowing down and unplugging. And I'll give you another list that has a whole bunch of other ideas. And I think really the best way to make this sustainable and make it something that you can, really do consistently is to think about the small pieces totaling up to your 30 minutes. It can be overwhelming to sit there and think, I got to do this one thing for 30 minutes. No, you can break it up into different parts of the day and do a multiple off the selection of the list. Okay, so let's talk about why this works. When we prioritize recovery, our stress levels start to come down, which means our body is going to respond better to our workouts. Right? We want that to happen. We want to get the best out of what we're putting in. And so this will definitely help with that. It's going to improve your sleep. Your hormones can be more balanced, and it really makes fat loss a whole lot easier, as well as maintaining your results. This is really going to be how we are supporting our body instead of just constantly fighting with it. So just a real talk for you. A lot of you are used to getting into that go, go, go mentality where you go all day long and you're pouring yourself into everything else. You're really not being intentional about taking time to, take care of you. You're running on high stress and caffeine just to get you through the day. And then, you're wondering like, why am I feeling so terrible? Why am I so exhausted, or I'm stuck and I can't make progress? So this is your permission to slow down on purpose. And for a lot of people, it is a challenge. And I kind of joke, this is the hardest one of our challenge to do, because as women, we tend to put ourselves last, and it really takes the intention of focusing on yourself through this recovery and de-stress piece. It's really is true that it's not always that you should be doing more to be doing better. And so, keep that in mind as you're working through this challenge. This is really important. So how to make this into a habit, because we don't only just want to do it for the challenge on particular days, but we want to be able to work this into our long-term, what we do every day in our life. And so I think in the beginning, taking time to schedule it, make it very intentional, will help to establish that habit. You're probably not going to accidentally do it, but schedule it just like you would a workout. Think, when am I going to get this done? What is my plan to do it? And do it more intentionally. Another great tip for reestablishing or creating new habits is to pair it with something that you're already doing. So let's say in the morning, maybe add this to your morning routine. You already are up, doing your breakfast routine. Maybe you just add in some stretches or a few minutes of deep breathing or something before you jump into breakfast. Pair it with something that's already existing, and it will be easier to reinforce that habit and just connect it to something that's already established. Also, don't overthink it. Just pick something, do it. Even if it's just like those 10 or 15 minutes, it's going to add up over time. So our final reminder is that this recovery is not an extra. It's part of our plan. It's intentional. It's something that we should always be looking towards, is bringing our stress levels down. So if you want your better results, you want to have more energy, and you want to have less stress, we need to support that. And we need to support your body, not just keep pushing through it. So slow down and let's let our body catch up. It will be worth it in the end, and it'll make everything else in the process so much easier for you. Be sure and check out the resource that I'm providing with this training for some great ideas, and take that time to de-stress and take care of yourself. You deserve it.